The Hilton family dynasty is born when Conrad Hilton purchases a rundown hotel in a Texas boomtown.
The Mobley Hotel?
It's the beginning of an empire that redefines the hospitality industry and grows to include 7,000 properties in over 100 countries around the world. But as Conrad Hilton's fame and fortune grow, so do family rivalries.
It's not personal. It's as personal as it gets.
Scandal and tragedy.
How many drinks have you had tonight?
The year is 1919, and the Texas oil boom is underway. Ambitious young men flock to the region with dreams of becoming overnight millionaires. But one man has a different idea. His name is Conrad Hilton.
Conrad Hilton was one of the great entrepreneurs in history. He was a man driven to succeed from the very beginning. To say, I'm gonna get started and I'm gonna build a business.
While others hope to strike it rich in the oil fields, Conrad seized the opportunity in hotels.
Thank you.
At the age of 32, after serving overseas in the First World War, Conrad arrives in Cisco, Texas, and uses $5,000 inherited from his father as a down payment to purchase the Mobley, the only hotel in town. Although the Mobley is a rundown property, Conrad envisions possibilities for success.
Conrad Hilton saw opportunities with hotels that others did not foresee. He felt he could find ways to generate a great deal more income from that hotel.
The Mobley Hotel?
The total purchase price is $40,000, which Conrad is able to pay through a bank loan he secures with a group of investors. As he begins to build his new business, Conrad recalls lessons from his past. Lessons learned from his father, who owned a general store in the New Mexico territory.
Conrad's education really started in the family general store. He learned at his father's knee. And Conrad saw his father buy and barter with trappers and miners and ranchers.
2 apiece, those lanterns are 2 apiece.
So he learned how to do math in his head to strike a deal. These lessons served Conrad very well throughout his life, and his store was very successful.
But over 1,500 miles away in New York, a financial crisis known as the Panic of 1907 threatens the family business when nervous investors begin withdrawing their money.
There was a run on the Knickerbocker Bank, and it spread to other banks. All of a sudden, his father had no money, and he had a warehouse full of supplies.
With the Hilton family facing ruin, young Conrad comes up with a plan.
Conrad decided, why don't the kids double up in their rooms behind the general store where they lived and take in some boarders? So Conrad would go to the train every day at 12 noon, 12 midnight, and 3 in the morning and greet passengers and bring them over to their house to spend the night with 3 square meals a day prepared by his mother. It's all for $2.50 a day.
In a way, that was sort of Conrad's first hotel. And so I think he really had incredible perception, both for people and in terms of hotel properties.
Without knowing it, Conrad Hilton has found his calling: hotelier. Conrad immediately starts implementing new ideas that will revolutionize the hotel industry.
What about the lobby area? Why does the lobby have to just be a desk? I think we could put a bar next to the desk. Encourages customers to drink, have a good time.
He begins by applying 2 pioneering principles: know your customer and maximize use of space. Conrad cuts the lobby in half to add a bar to profit from oil field workers eager for a drink after a hard day's work, and adds retail space to sell newspapers and cigarettes to his guests. He uses every inch of space to add more guest rooms to create more revenue, even going as far as sleeping in his office to make more rooms available.
If you go back at the very beginning in Cisco, Texas, Hilton went in that hotel to figure out, all right, what do customers need, but also what can I do to activate the spaces and drive revenues to drive profitability.
This is the way he saw to generate additional money out of each investment that he made in a hotel. And that became his formula in the subsequent years.
Conrad builds on the success of the Mobley by buying failing Texas hotels at bargain prices and renovating them to create highly profitable properties.
Ever since that first day in Cisco, he had dreamed of having a chain of hotels in Texas, and he succeeded in just 3 or 4 years.
By 1923, Conrad Hilton owns more than 500 hotel rooms across Texas. But he's not satisfied. Work begins on the first hotel to carry his name: the Dallas Hilton. And while his business thrives, Conrad Hilton falls in love.
Mary Barron was a delightful young woman from Kentucky, and Conrad immediately fell in love with her. And he said, after I complete the Dallas Hilton, let's get married.
In 1925, work is finished on the Dallas Hilton. And true to his word, Conrad and Mary are married later that year. The couple's first child, Conrad Jr., known as Nick, is born in 1926. 15 months later, a second son, Barron, arrives. But Conrad's single-minded devotion to his work soon causes strains.
Connie, why don't you put away those old diagrams, Come on. Please.
Sweetheart, please.
Conrad was consumed by building his hotel chain in Texas. And so he was gone a lot. And she was left home with the 2 children.
Fatherhood is not Conrad Hilton's highest priority. and his sons will battle for their father's approval throughout their lives. Intent on growing his empire, Conrad secures funding from his investors, as well as bank loans, and announces plans for a Hilton which will be the tallest building in El Paso, Texas.
Hilton saw an opportunity in El Paso to build a first-class hotel, 19 stories tall, that he would call the El Paso Hilton. But his timing was terrible. It was 1929.
Just weeks after the plans are announced, in October of 1929, the stock market crashes, and America begins to plunge into the Great Depression. Having raised the money to build the El Paso Hilton, Conrad refuses to turn back. He breaks ground on the property 3 weeks after the crash. And in November of 1930, Conrad's largest, most luxurious hotel yet opens, featuring innovations such as a radio in every room and iced air to cool the dining room.
Conrad Hilton was a very resilient person. Very scrappy, very gritty. He could deal with a lot of adversity.
Conrad spends $1.75 million building the new hotel, the equivalent of over $30 million today. But his triumph is short-lived. As the Depression deepens, business travel all but evaporates. And Conrad is quickly $500,000 in debt.
During the Depression, he lost pretty much everything, and he had to find a way to keep it going. He never quit.
In 1933, Hilton's third son, Eric, is born. Conrad moves his young family into the El Paso Hilton to ride out the economic storm. Some days, he has no money to fuel his car or buy food. Conrad boards up rooms, reduces heating and electricity, anything to cut costs. Though he has built his business in less than a decade, at the age of 42, he is on the verge of losing it all.
Please, just give me a few weeks. I'll get you the money. I have no other options.
Faced with the prospect of bankruptcy, Hilton cuts a deal with his investors and obtains a loan of $300,000, using his hotels as collateral.
I can't thank you enough.
He had built up a certain credibility. People had faith in him as a person. I really feel that his compassion for others is what saved him there.
In those days, you were a marked person if you went into bankruptcy. Hilton wanted to be able to continue delving with hotels, and he knew that bankruptcy was a very black mark on your financial capability.
The stress of the hard times aggravates already existing strains on the Hilton's marriage.
It's late.
Mary, please, let's not do this.
Ignore me, fine. But the boys are growing up and they need a father.
Everything I do, everything, is for you and for the boys. This work is your future security and theirs. I'm finally rounding the corner after the crash, Mary. I can't just stop.
The terrible weight of the Depression really took a toll on their marriage.
Though their Catholic faith forbids it, the couple divorces in 1934 after 9 years of marriage.
Mary was there at home and she just had an infant, which was Eric Hilton, but the marriage just didn't last. And ironically, their relationship improved and life around the children improved quite a bit as a result of the breakup.
The couple agrees that the youngest son, Eric, will stay with his mother, who is living at the El Paso Hilton. And the two older boys, Nick and Barron, move in with their father at the Dallas Hilton. Determined to move forward on his own, Conrad breaks free from his investors. He gives up 3 hotels, but retains 5 Texas properties, including the Hiltons in Dallas and El Paso. As the American economy begins to recover, he pays off his debts. And by 1937, Conrad sees that the Depression also presents a huge opportunity.
During the Depression, 80% of all hotels were either in receivership or in bankruptcy. And Hilton, having not declared bankruptcy, was in a strong position to take advantage of a very soft hotel market. All of these hotels being held by creditors who had no interest in running or operating hotels were willing to sell these hotels at pennies on the dollar.
The Sir Francis Drake in San Francisco was built in 1928 for $4 million. But in 1937, Conrad takes control of it with the help of his investors for just $275,000 in cash.
Conrad would always put his money in first, and he would get 4 or 5 other friends to match it, and then he would go to the bank and renegotiate the first mortgage. And so pretty soon, he got the debt and the debt service down to a manageable level to where he could meet his expenses with cash flow.
In 1938, Conrad moves to Los Angeles and launches an ambitious plan to create the first truly national chain of hotels. He purchases the Breakers in Long Beach and travels to New Mexico to begin construction of the Albuquerque Hilton, which opens the following year.
The company that he founded lived through the Great Depression, and throughout, he provided incredible leadership, gave the people of the company something to believe in, to get up that tomorrow would be brighter than today, to continue to build the company.
As Conrad's status in LA grows, he walks into the trendiest hotspot in Hollywood, Ciro's on Sunset Boulevard, where the likes of Humphrey Bogart and Cary Grant are regulars. And that's where Conrad, now 54, meets a 24-year-old former Miss Hungary, an actress named Zsa Zsa Gabor. And their romance quickly takes hold.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
In December 1941, the Japanese attack Pearl Harbor, and America is at war.
We're still in conversation with its government.
Though the world is in turmoil and the future seems uncertain, Conrad sees that the country is growing and changing along with the wartime economy. and he wants his business to grow and change along with it.
In California, there was significant fear that the Japanese would ultimately move on from Pearl Harbor and attack California, bomb Los Angeles. Hilton, however, saw this as an opportunity.
The Townhouse Hotel was built in 1929 at a cost of $3 million. But in 1942, Hilton, convinced that California is safe from attack, purchases it for less than $1 million. On April 10th of that year, Conrad Hilton marries Zsa Zsa Gabor.
She brought him more joy than he had seen in his entire life. She also brought heartache and headache. She was like a Roman candle, beautiful and spectacular, but you never quite knew when it was going to go off. And he said it was really hard living life like it was the 4th of July every day.
Soon he reaches across the country and focuses on the biggest market there is, New York City.
Hilton understood that without New York, there was no way that he could really become national in the hotel business.
He takes control of the Roosevelt in 1943 and transforms it into an innovative destination. The Roosevelt will become the first hotel to feature a bathroom, air conditioning, and a television in every room. Next, Hilton acquires the legendary Plaza Hotel. The Plaza was built at a cost of $17 million in 1907. But Conrad and his partners purchased the hotel for $7.4 million, the equivalent of $140 million today. And they spend another $6 million restoring it to its former glory. Soon, occupancy soars from 60% to nearly 100%.
New York was a tough market. There were a lot of cynics, but I think it established him as a real player in the business. And it was really what solidified our presence as a coast-to-coast hotel company.
Hilton also turns his attention to giving back to society. In 1944, he creates the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation, with a mission, in the founder's words, to relieve the suffering, the distressed, and the destitute. The foundation benefits Catholic sisters and programs that aid the poor and children in the United States and developing countries.
My father and grandfather both carried a trait, compassion and empathy. That showed up in their humanitarian efforts and through their foundation work.
As the Second World War continues, Conrad's eldest son, Nick, joins the Navy as soon as he turns 18. And within months, he's aboard the USS North Carolina as it shells the coast of Japan. Nick's younger brother, Baron, is also eager to enlist. Though the war ends while Baron is in boot camp, he goes on to serve in the Pacific. As the post-war economy grows, the Hilton Corporation grows along with it.
I think the Hilton Corporation did and does reflect the growth of America. Part of America was the spreading out from east to west, Highway 66, new communities, businesses, hotels, travel became sort of an economic circulatory system. And if you live somewhere and a Hilton comes in, it means that your community is on the up.
Determined to be a presence throughout the country, Hilton purchases the Stevens Hotel in downtown Chicago and renames it the Chicago Hilton. In 1946, the Hilton Hotels Corporation becomes the first lodging company listed on the New York Stock Exchange. The following year, as Conrad becomes one of America's most powerful business titans, his marriage to Zsa Zsa Gabor comes to an end.
The marriage was doomed to fail because he was very careful with his money, and he wanted to see that his money worked for profits and for the benefit of the family. Zsa Zsa was an exorbitant spender. He did not see these expenditures by Zsa Zsa as anything that added anything to the family.
The divorce takes place amid rumors of infidelity by both parties. But things become even messier when 6 months after the divorce, Zsa Zsa gives birth to a baby girl, Francesca. And the birth certificate lists Conrad as the child's father.
Conrad was merely the second of Zsa Zsa's 8 husbands. He had great empathy for Francesca, but Zsa Zsa was her mother, and they built their own life together. And Conrad was again an absentee father.
As Conrad's daughter begins life with her mother, his sons begin their business careers, but choose very different paths.
John, you've been here a while. You've always been so good to us. Let me,
Nick, the oldest son, studies the hotel business in Europe and returns to Los Angeles, where he joins the Hilton Executive Committee and begins dating a string of young Hollywood actresses.
Yeah, it's taken care of. I ran the numbers twice. We're all set.
Before starting his career at Hilton, Nick's younger brother, Baron, launches a successful company that leases aircraft for business. He marries and is soon the father of 3 children and starts an early credit card company, Carte Blanche, which is folded into the Hilton Corporation once Baron joins the family business. The youngest brother, Eric, begins working for Hilton Hotels while he's still in his teens.
My father, Eric Hilton, his first job was in the boiler room, but he did it proudly.
How we doing?
He took different positions within the hotel. He had to start from the ground up. Each brother was being groomed in their own way for the hotel business in time. And yes, there was sibling rivalries, and that competition exists between them. But at the end of the day, they were all part of something bigger.
While Conrad's sons' lives unfold in different ways, Conrad's business and his fame continue to grow. Hilton now controls 15 hotels with 12,000 rooms throughout America. Conrad befriends future President Dwight Eisenhower. And in 1949, Time magazine puts Hilton on its cover.
Conrad, Nikki, Baron, and Eric shared really that competitive spirit of wanting to win, seal a deal, take as much market share as they possibly could. That passion to conquer was definitely ingrained in all of them.
As the company expands, Hilton pioneers the concept of the hotel as a city within a city, with everything from restaurants to nightclubs and shopping centers, all within one hotel.
Nobody had figured out how to put all those things together in a way that gave a customer all of the things that they needed to have a comfortable, reliable, friendly stay. what today we would call a full-service hotel.
Having conquered America, Hilton sets his sights on the world.
In the beginning, the far side of the earth was a mystery. Until now.
You now had international flights that would take you anywhere in the world you wanted to go. And he realized that he could take the same principles that he had built the company in the United States and take that across the globe.
A gem in the tropics, the fabulous Caribe Hilton Hotel.
In 1949, Hilton forms a new entity, Hilton Hotels International. But for Conrad, going international is about more than profits. It's about promoting democracy in post-World War II Europe and beyond.
I think my great-grandfather really was an ambassador for the U.S. I think at heart he was an internationalist and really felt that through international trade and travel, we could achieve world peace. I think he wanted every Hilton hotel to be like a little American embassy to show what the success of the American system can provide.
While Conrad Hilton's moves make headlines in the business world, his son Nick makes headlines of a very different kind, as he becomes engaged to a young actress many consider to be the most beautiful woman in the world. In October of 1949, at the age of 24, Nick Hilton meets 18-year-old movie star Elizabeth Taylor.
Nick fell in love with a photograph of Elizabeth Taylor, and he cajoled all his friends in the studios to finally introduce them, and they began a courtship.
Star Elizabeth Taylor arrives with her father for her marriage to Conrad Hilton Jr., crowning a romance everybody's been interested in.
Just 200 days after meeting, they are married.
The marriage of Elizabeth and Nick was big news all over the country. The whole reception was all presented by the PR staff at MGM Studios because it would help promote Elizabeth's next movie.
The marriage is a huge media sensation, with 3 busloads of photographers chasing the newlyweds.
We've been in Paris for about a week. It was just wonderful. We had such a gay time.
But the honeymoon is a disaster, as the couple fight constantly, and Nick, often drunk, turns abusive.
Nick was annoyed that the press followed him on their entire honeymoon. He would pout at all the attention she was getting. Sure enough, it turned out to be a May-December romance, married in May and split up by December.
In January of 1951, Elizabeth Taylor cites Nick's abusive language and mental cruelty as the grounds for divorce. Nick goes into a downward spiral of gambling, alcoholism, and addiction to sleeping pills, and he makes tabloid headlines dating a string of Hollywood actresses.
What you typically see among the children of the super rich is a struggle for the direction that their life should go in.
Nick is arrested in 1954 after a drunken brawl outside his Hollywood apartment. As Nick's behavior continues to worsen, his younger brother Baron tries to intervene.
You all right? I'm great. How many drinks have you had tonight? Not as many as I need.
As Nick's struggles continue, Baron joins the family firm as a vice president running the company's franchise operations.
The Baron Hilton story. Now, what What has it meant to Baron Hilton to be the son of Conrad Hilton, a help or a hindrance?
I'm very happy and proud to be the son of Conrad Hilton. His assistance and help has been of tremendous value to my success.
While Baron thrives, Nick, hoping to regain his father's respect, tries to bring his drinking under control and begins to focus on Hilton's international business.
Nick went with Conrad just about to every ribbon cutting and grand opening, and he was really learning the business right next to his father.
By the 1960s, Hilton International controls 39 hotels in 25 countries around the world. While Baron takes the lead in Hilton's US-based hotels, Conrad, in an effort to turn his older son's troubled life around, names Nick chairman of the operating committee for Hilton International. Conrad's youngest son, Eric, continues to work his way up the corporate ladder, moving from general manager of a single hotel to sales manager for the Southwest region of Hilton's franchise division. As their responsibilities grow, the brothers must compete to earn their father's respect and their position within his empire.
New York to London, in the same time that it takes you to go and see a baseball doubleheader. 6.5 magic hours.
As international travel expands and jumbo jets carry passengers around the world, Pan American Airlines builds a profitable subsidiary, the Intercontinental Hotel Chain. Pan Am's main competitor, TWA, turns to Hilton. And in 1967, Hilton International and TWA agree on a merger. Hilton's name remains on foreign hotels, but its international division is owned by TWA. In exchange, Hilton gets $250 million cash and options to buy TWA's valuable stock. But the move blindsides Nick, who will lose his position as the head of the company's international division.
The old man has lost it. Foreign business is booming. Now's the time to stay in, not sell out. It's just business. I'm the head of Hilton International, and you want to sell off our entire international division without even consulting me?
I tried to bring you in, but Dad didn't want any complications.
Now I'm a complication.
It's not about you. It's about the company.
Was it your idea?
Nikki, it's not personal.
You negotiate a deal behind my back, undermining me, making me look like a fool. Baron, it's as personal as it gets.
The decision really was not Baron's at all, but it was the board of directors of Hilton International. But I think Nick took umbrage at it, and after the sale, things just seemed to get worse for Nick.
Eventually, the TWA merger will prove to be a disaster. When in 1973, OPEC raises oil prices, international travel slows down, and TWA's stock plummets. Soon, Conrad Hilton decides to address the issue of succession.
He was well into his 80s, and he decided he had one hotel company now, and that was Hilton Hotels Corporation, and he gave that to Baron. So Nick became president of the foundation, and Baron became president of the hotel company.
As Nick's younger brother, Baron, takes over control of the family company, and his youngest brother, Eric, becomes a senior vice president, Nick descends into harmful old habits. Until, in February of 1969, decimated by his addictions to drink and drugs, Nick Hilton dies from heart failure.
We all know stories of children of great wealth who wind up with an early death from drinking drugs. You know, they just can't find any purpose for themselves.
It's a tragic story because Nicky was born to enormous wealth, had this very famous father, and yet dies at the age of 42.
After the passing of his brother, Barron focuses on growing the family business. He sees an opportunity in Las Vegas.
Barron went to the board and said, "Gentlemen, you've hired me to keep and maintain Hilton's position in the marketplace. And Las Vegas is going to grow, and we have to be there."
In the early 1970s, Hilton purchases 2 Las Vegas hotels from financier Kirk Kerkorian, the Flamingo and the International, which is renamed the Las Vegas Hilton. And Hilton becomes the first company listed on the New York Stock Exchange to enter the gaming industry.
Barron Hilton saw gambling as a real source of revenue. It was a risk that other hoteliers were not prepared to take at that time.
Barron renews the $1 million contract of a performer attempting to make a comeback. Elvis Presley. It's a move that was considered risky at the time.
It was said that half of every visitor to Las Vegas in the 70s went there to see Elvis's show at the Las Vegas Hilton.
Until 1977, Elvis performs 2 months a year, 2 shows a night, 7 days a week, selling out 837 consecutive performances.
Barron ended up building much of what you think of as modern Las Vegas. Now today, we have split apart that business, but at the time, Hilton became the biggest gaming company in the world.
With Barron firmly in charge, Conrad Hilton remains chairman of the board. In 1976, 30 years after his marriage to Zsa Zsa Gabor, Conrad marries longtime family friend Mary Frances Kelly.
Conrad Hilton is busy at his Beverly Hills office helping run the company until just a couple of weeks ago. But he had heart failure last Sunday and he was rushed to a hospital where he died.
By the time Conrad Hilton passes away in 1979, at the age of 91, Conrad's estate is worth over $100 million, the equivalent of over $700 million today. And when the details of Hilton's will are revealed, they make headlines. In keeping with his lifelong dedication to philanthropy, Conrad leaves 97% of his wealth to the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation. For the Hilton family, including Eric Hilton, Conrad's decision does not come as a surprise.
I asked what motivated Conrad to leave his money to the foundation versus the family. And my father, Eric Hilton, looked me straight in the eye and said, he was a man who believed that to give you money that you didn't earn yourself, you wouldn't know how to keep it, and you would always want more, but wouldn't know how to get it.
The charitable trust isn't the only news in Conrad Hilton's will. Conrad leaves $750,000 to Barron and $350,000 to Eric, but only $100,000 to Francesca, his daughter with Zsa Zsa Gabor. The will also states that anyone who contests it and fails will inherit nothing. Undeterred, Francesca sues Conrad's estate for at least $50 million. But she loses in court. and forfeits her inheritance. She goes on to work as a photographer and an actress.
Years later, she said, well, I don't hold any umbrage at my father because that was his decision. And so she was quite graceful about it. And years later, Barron restored her inheritance out of his own pocket to keep harmony in the family.
A series of lawsuits result from Hilton's will. In the end, Barron controls the voting rights to the stock in Conrad's estate, allowing him to maintain control as CEO. He is also able to ensure that virtually all of his father's estate is used for charity. In 1985, Barron Hilton invests $320 million to build a hotel and casino in Atlantic City, the largest undertaking in the history of the Hilton Corporation. But after the 624-room casino is constructed, there's shocking news. Barron is blindsided when the New Jersey Casino Commission denies Hilton's application to operate a casino, citing Hilton's relationship with a Chicago lawyer with alleged ties to organized crime.
How do you feel about the possibility that Hilton's name will continue to be dragged through the mud?
I really don't feel that that will be the case because I believe we're going to prevail, and that's the important thing.
Barron Hilton is now facing the prospect of a disaster which will threaten the legacy of the company that his father has built and left in his hands. The threat increases when Vegas-based hotel magnate Steve Wynn makes a hostile bid to take over a controlling interest in the Hilton Corporation. Barron is in danger of losing his family's company. But an offer comes from an unexpected source. An up-and-coming real estate mogul who admires the career of Conrad Hilton and has recently opened a casino of his own. Future President
Thank you.
Donald Trump.
Should I get through here?
Trump purchases the Atlantic City Hilton for $320 million. Trump's unforeseen offer comes just in time, and the company goes on to thrive under Barron's leadership. The connection between Donald Trump and the Hilton family again comes into play 15 years later.
How's New York?
It was fun.
Great.
When Trump signs the 19-year-old great-granddaughter of Conrad Hilton to a modeling contract. In 2001, Paris and her older sister, Nikki, become the it girls in New York society, making headlines for their sometimes outrageous behavior.
I think the Hilton sisters are very, very interesting because they come from a fortune and a very well-known brand. It appeared at one point when they were teenagers, sort of running around New York late at night and always in the gossip columns, that, this was a path to infamy and destruction. But in fact, they very cleverly used their last name and made new fortunes. In addition to the old, they're probably the original influencers of this era. I mean, they predate even the Kardashians.
Paris, the daughter of Barron Hilton's real estate developer son, Richard, will go on to become perhaps the best-known member of the Hilton dynasty.
Obviously very popular. It's hard to explain, but she's a very sweet girl, and this is something, a combination that has made her lovable to the world.
One of Barron's favorite phrases was, "I used to be known as Conrad Hilton's son. Now I'm known as Paris Hilton's grandfather."
In 2003, Paris stars with Nicole Richie in a reality TV show, The Simple Life. The following year, Hilton's ex-boyfriend leaks a sex tape that Paris will later call humiliating and something that will hurt me for the rest of my life. Paris sues for defamation and ultimately settles out of court. But like her great-grandfather Conrad, she transforms adversity into opportunity. Paris uses her celebrity to promote an array of products, including fragrances,
You can smell like me.
handbags, pet products, and clothing. And her personal wealth is estimated at over $300 million.
What Paris Hilton has very cleverly done is turn the old Hilton brand into a new Hilton brand, and she's made a lot of money doing it, and really all power to her.
In 2007, the Hilton family decides to sell the hotel business to one of America's largest private equity firms, the Blackstone Group, for $26 billion, 40% over the value of the company's stock.
We had an opportunity to reclaim our rightful spot in history, which is to be the true pioneer and the true leader in the industry. And I'm very proud of the fact that we've been the fastest growing and the best performing company over that period of time. I hope Conrad Hilton would be proud that the company is more like it was in the earlier days where he had such a pioneering spirit. It all started with him creating DNA of being entrepreneurial, pioneering, but scrappy and gritty and resilient at the same time.
In 2016, Conrad's youngest son, Eric, dies after a long career at the family company, where he eventually rose to vice chairman and member of the board. 3 years later, Eric's older brother, Baron, passes away.
Hotel tycoon Baron Hilton has died. Hilton's family says he died of natural causes in his Los Angeles home Thursday.
Following the example set by his father, Baron leaves 97% of his wealth to the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation.
The founding purpose of the company, as stated in Conrad Hilton's own words, was to fill the earth with the light and warmth of hospitality. So the idea that he and then Baron would give away the vast majority of their wealth to do good, you know, to make the world a better place is totally in keeping with the values that both of them had.
The foundation's current assets are approximately $6.7 billion. Its programs focus on the Catholic Sisters, foster children, worldwide early childhood development, homelessness, refugees, clean water, and more.
Last year was our largest grant giving year, and knowing how many people that we've assisted, I think Conrad would be extremely proud of where we are today as a foundation.
There are now 7,200 Hilton properties in 123 countries and territories. But none is owned by the Hilton family. And Conrad Hilton's legend lives on as a uniquely American figure whose life and career stretched from the turn of the 20th century in the Western frontier to the modern era of global travel and international commerce.
I think Hilton stands for the success of the American entrepreneurial spirit. At its core, it's about serving people and hospitality. But I also hope that eventually it'll be known for philanthropy, because that really is the legacy of Conrad and Baron.